Let's be very clear. They've made some changes to the algorithm to fit a narrative.
Everyone that I know that has purchased on TikTok, they talk about the product they purchased. They have no idea who the product's from.
So does the brand even matter?
According to Wired, last year, Temu lost $30 on every single order placed on their platform. Can you guys afford to lose $30 per customer?
I lose way more than that.
The US consumer can order from Temu, get it from China to their door in 4 days. They're eliminating the middleman, the American.
47% of brands are just buying products overseas.
And they're just reselling them?
Temu is really opening up people's eyes. That's the same product that I used to pay 2 to 3x for because it had a logo on it.
Listen to this difference already though. YouTube gets 72 billion views a month. You know what TikTok gets? All right, guys. Well, I brought my sock as a prop.
That's from Temu, right?
Yeah, from Temu.
Yeah.
A sock prop.
This jersey.
Well, actually, it's not from Temu. It's actually from TikTok Shop. My wife bought me from TikTok Shop because she knew that I was shooting a pod on politics and said, this would be perfect for you.
Nice.
I like him, though, but I might wear him, just on normal days.
I want to see. Oh, I got to spin, actually.
You gotta spin.
I got to spin.
All right,
Here we go.
get off. You'll be on there for literally.
Spin to win.
I don't have the app.
You don't have the app?
No,
It's
my
not.
wife does.
If you've never gone through the app experience of just
We went through it
gamifying.
last time we were here.
Yeah,
It's so much fun.
Incredible what they do. You win $20 and $3,000 in this, but you got to buy it all in 10 seconds.
It's almost as good as
Jackpot,
You want?
$200.
that's the best possible.
$200.
This is why he's all laced.
Buy 3 items to get $200 coupon bundle, but they give you like 6 minutes to like.
So are
we
we
don't
do-
have 6 minutes
yeah.
right here. We got to shoot a pod.
All right, well, I'll do it after. I'll save the spin.
3,
Can you save it?
2, what?
Welcome to the ASOM Pod, where we talk a lot. eCom is the path that we walk a lot. From 4 point of views when we're talking shop.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the ASOM Pod, a show about perspective from the eyes of an agency, SaaS operator, and marketer focused on D2C, e-commerce, and the retail space. With over 55 years of combined business experience, founding over 12 different companies in our careers, we're excited to bring you this episode. All right, let's go around the room and let me introduce everybody. First, we got John. He's the Android-loving survival and preparedness king. And then we've got Amer, who's sitting back chilling over here as the Prince of Bosnia, or formerly known as the Prince of Bosnia. And then we got Brian, the self-proclaimed funniest dude on LinkedIn. IG, you'll find him as anything but salad because he loves meat. Our sponsor, rapper, marketing extraordinaire in his everyday life. He sells more meats to dogs. He's the director of e-commerce at Elvis Pride, the original raw food pet company.
You know.
What an intro.
You know.
I'm giving you guys the best intros. And my name is Jimmy Kim. I'm the founder of SendLane, 3-time founder, and a digital marketer and email marketer of 15 years. All right, guys, let's start off by a quick little shout out to our sponsors. And first of all, if you want to hang out with us and you want to talk with us as an agency, a SaaS, an operator, or marketer, you can find us at a place called Creators Combine. Come join us. We mastermind, we hang out, we talk, we meet up. It's a lot of fun. You should come join us.
Good times.
And there's a very low barrier of entry to come join that thing. So big shout out to our sponsors. We thank both Recharge and Gorgeous for that sponsorship, and check them out. Make sure you mention ASOM that you heard our rap, and they'll give you a special deal for being listeners of our pod. So we thank you for that. All right, let's go ahead and jump in, guys. We've got a really fun segment here. We're going to talk about TikTok Shop, Temu, Alibaba, Shein, eBay, Amazon, China. I'm trying to hit all the SEO keywords so that they can all pick us up. But this one's going to be a spicy one because no matter how you slice it, the rise of discount or truly factory to consumer is starting to come on the rise, right? With less manufacturing happening in the USA, the internet's giving people the ability to shop and browse and communicate with consumers and people that might buy from all over the world. And now, before we jump into quality, which I know is like the default sentiment that people will have, it's not always true. There's plenty of items that are high quality that come from overseas, and it's just the source of these products that make them different. If you look at Temu, Alibaba, AliExpress, Shein, or even eBay, those are examples of both low and high quality with low and high prices. I think you can find both of those out there. And then you add that layer of TikTok Shop, IG Shop, YouTube's now bringing out shopping. These are examples of unique selling way. That's where I ended up buying these socks from, or my wife did, right? Of lower, products that might be not as high quality, low barrier, that you can sell at a fast, impulsive buy. And what's changing, in my opinion, is that those platforms are very much impulsive buying platforms now, where Facebook and Meta is actually becoming more of an education and a better channel almost. It's almost like the market has evolved and aged ultimately.
Yep.
And then we got inflation, right? It's changing the way that consumer behavior is acting right now. If you think about inflation, the rising prices, and people are starting to recognize, if I can just get a few good uses out of this thing, then it's worth that heavy discount. So maybe I buy a screwdriver that I know is going to break, but I could use it at least one time just to get that project done, but to move on. And the reality is maybe I don't need the product more than once, right? That's always a question that people have. Or social channels like TikTok are opening up new channels basically, right? These are new channels or ways to sell, diversify, and grow your online brand. And though the brand value may be tied to the channel it launches on, there's no doubt there's some fantastic products that are being launched every day. It's lowering the barrier of entry. In fact, when I look at myself, I have like products that I love. You know, I have a gut thing. So I love this thing called Flora Biome that I ended up finding on TikTok. It was like a really good acidic thing for me and it helps me out and I drink it every morning. Or my new fun thing is keto fly squatter that like zaps.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Before?
I got a 2-pack.
Right? I'm living in Texas. We get them. Dude, you know what the best thing I do with that thing is I walk outside when I take my dogs out at night and I just carry it next to me and everything, you just hear it go pop, 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 because all of them come towards that instead of you.
Yeah, those are fun.
Right? And then I know with you, you know, as a baby, right? You guys are buying baby toys and different things on there because they're of good value, right? And you can look at retail. And I mentioned this before. If you look at Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, the stocks are ripping. They're doing really well this year. And it's telling me something really interesting that they trust the seller, but they are okay buying possibly a no-name product that we traditionally have. So is it the death of the brand? Is it, you know, what could be happening? So I want to take a deep dive into the changes of consumer behavior and how it's affecting the overall landscape of e-commerce and retail here today. That's the topic. I know I went on a long rant there of getting you guys going, but I want to make sure to see how this plays out on all sides. So let's go ahead and start off and let's talk about it. I mean, look, Brian, we're going to start off with Mr. Hot Takes over here because Brian posted a hot take on, what is it, LinkedIn or somewhere?
LinkedIn, yeah.
Go ahead.
About TikTok Shop you're talking
Yeah,
about?
you were attacking me and Jordan West.
Yeah. So yeah, Jordan West, who's in one of our chats, great guy, Canadian, but great guy. And
is Canadian like being an Android guy?
no, but you know, I just think, you know, they're outside of the border, right? And sometimes you got to put your foot down. No, Jordan's a great guy. Honestly,
Jordan is good people.
Jordan's really good people.
He's our friend.
Canadians are also, for the most part, I believe, also good people. But not to get too off track there. Jordan's a huge promoter of TikTok Shop, and John sells his products on there, some of them as well. Where I guess I have a spicier take because, not to say that John doesn't sell premium products. He has some products that are cheaper in regards to price points that move on TikTok Shop compared to he can't sell his $200 subscription boxes on there, but he can sell individual low price products. Where I sell more of a premium product and half of it's frozen, which wouldn't work regardless. But I see TikTok Shop though, and I'm going to give TikTok Shop a little bit of credit in regards to when the more and more I absolutely shit on it, the more I see TikTok Shop being an entire funnel where not only is it top of funnel, it's also educational about the particular product, but then it's also that closing end of funnel, right? So there's not many platforms like that. When you talk about Google, when you talk about Meta, especially Meta now, I consider that obviously like a top of funnel ad platform where now you're adding in these extra layers where you see an ad, whether it's a Google ad or it's a Meta ad, someone talking about a product or it's the company's video talking about their product or service. Now you have to go to their website to find out a little bit more about it. Maybe you do a little bit more of investigation work. Maybe you forget about it in a few months where TikTok, like you mentioned, it's a very impulse platform, but it's impulse on top of real-time buying plus educational. So your anti-reflux or acid thing that you got, you probably saw someone taking it, talking about the benefits of it. And then it's like, wait a minute, I just have to like click this button, spend $10. And it's, so you went through the entire process of finding the product, being informed about the product, hearing about its benefits, and being able to click the purchase button all in one platform without extra steps involved, right? So I give TikTok that credit in regards to it being a platform for that, but it's also now any product that is under $25, I believe is the metrics of value, moves really well on TikTok Shop. So it's definitely more of a low priced, and I shouldn't call them crappy products because some of the products on there are good, but it's for companies that offer single SKUs at a low cost. And I think those move best on TikTok Shop, which is why I'm not all for it, because I'm jealous that I'm not able to get on that platform like the other guys.
I'm going to give you a perspective to that thought process and that hot take. And I would love to hear how you two think about this too. But here's my perspective to this. And you kind of started to kind of go down the path talking about the funnel, right? In where I come from, way back in my old career, I was in info. And one of the things that we used to sell in info was a really low cost product. And we used to call them tripwires. And what tripwires were ways to prospect at a more mass quantities, turn back ROI of money basically, but also to acquire new customers so we can upsell them into other products or other services that we have, right? Could you imagine, or could you think that maybe TikTok is more of a modern tripwire for brands because you're able to go out and reach into maybe a different prospective group of people than you might be on Meta or Instagram, for example? And that could be one of the challenges that people aren't starting to see just yet. Like, it's great. You're right. A lot of these guys are selling tchotchkes and one-time products. But if you're a brand like Oma's, for example, maybe this is where you have an opportunity to create maybe a really cheap one-time sample product or something really cheap just to get people into their brand. Because when you talk about the company Flora Biome, I saw it, and you're right. I saw these videos, people saying they're making feel good. I don't like how I feel because of acid. So like when we go eat pizza, like I have to take something with it because it's in my genes to have that. But so they identified a problem, good algo, good targeting, hit me a bunch of times, and I finally made the purchase. Now that I love this stuff, not only am I talking about it on the pod, but I'm also now going directly to their website and I subscribe to a subscription so that it's out my doorstep. All because on TikTok, I saw the first one. In fact, I'm pretty sure the bottle might be a little bit bigger now on when I ordered it through the website versus what I would have gotten on TikTok. So there's a lot of interesting things that I've learned. Now, I'm going to jump to you, John. Like, as I say that, like, and you think about BattleBox, I feel like that's what you're doing today with TikTok Shop, for example.
Yeah, no, so it is. So we are trying to make it a standalone profitable channel. But to Brian's call out earlier, I mean, yeah, our AOV on TikTok is $20.
What's your normal AOV?
Over 100.
Okay.
For one-time products, and it's like 140 if we're talking memberships. So it's a major outlier. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to capture that group. And to your other point, for TikTok and YouTube specifically, for us, it's discovery. It's top of funnel. It's organic. It's educational. That's how we get a lot of our top of funnel. So we are getting a purchase from them, but there is value in that. Now, we are trying to make it a profitable channel. It is a profitable channel. We want to keep it a profitable channel, but there is value there, right? So they're getting first glimpse of the BattleBox experience, right? From them ordering it to how quickly they get it. Now, like many marketplaces, we don't have besides their address, we don't have their customer information, right? We don't have their email. They can't opt into our email flows and campaigns. So we do want to reach them and get them in. So, we send that there's a card insert in every package that goes to TikTok Shop, gets them through a QR code and a giveaway to our website. We're trying to get them into the ecosystem.
How do you track and identify they came from there? Do you have a way?
Yeah. So what we currently put in there, it's, thanks for your TikTok purchase, just a 3x5 card. And it's, congratulations, you can enter a free monthly giveaway. It's a QR code with UTM parameters. Yeah. So we know where it is. And then we're tracking in GA4 that little cohort to see how it performs. I think that's the hope. Jimmy, short answer, I think that's the hope. Is it going to be a tripwire? We don't know. It's definitely a different buyer with certainty.
That is dedicated to all the brands out there who are struggling with subscriptions. To the people out there with churn rates higher than their mortgage. Y'all called the police on us when we were just trying to get you on recharge. And now look where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby, baby. It was all a dream. Welcome to the recharge scene. Retention just double, celebrate with your team. So watch your churn go down. Every single day we said that recharge will turn you around. There's 20,000 brands that they serve. If your first name is J, they'll make your last name Curve. Trusted, robust, and dynamic. They'll make you money while you're laying in the hammock. Just kidding. I wish that was how life was.
Do you think it's just a younger buyer, an uneducated buyer? What do you think it really is? Because I look at like all of us here, and I don't know about you, Amir, but I know I watch TikTok. I know you guys do. Do you watch TikTok a lot?
And then as much, I stay on it because of these conversations, like what's going on, what are people selling me,
Have you bought anything from TikTok?
I have not.
How much have you bought from TikTok Shop?
I actually bought a few things. One of them was glow-in-the-dark Play-Doh for my kids. And that was like one thing. That was like
so random.
That's super random. But you saw TikTok.
It was cool. It was like
cool.
Like a video of this literally this woman holding this with her kids, and like the video started with the lights on, then the lights went off, and all you could see was the Play-Doh, and then her kids were playing with it. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I got suckered into that. But yeah, I bought a few things for the kids on there.
So I've never bought anything.
You've never bought anything either, huh? Dude, the buying experience is so seamless. It's like click on the thing that you like because there's a little box, and then it's like one page checkout experience.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you just hit place order. And if you've bought one time,
they already have
takes seconds to make a purchase, and they do show up fast, right? Most of the time, they probably show up from overseas as a drop shipping product, but they do show up. You know?
Yeah, well, there's extreme props to TikTok. The rules they have in place on the back end, like if you're selling, expectations of how quickly you have to print label. They have rules. It has to be 2 days from a carrier scan.
Yeah.
Like, and then you have a set amount of time it has to be delivered by. Like, they're controlling and
strict,
ensuring it's a good customer experience.
Amer, as you're growing with these brands, with, you know, you're working on the other side on the website channel, obviously TikTok Shop is influencing some of their decisions and maybe the way they want things. Like, what are you seeing on your side as you're talking to brands that are exploring these channels?
So one of the big things that I do, and I try not to push anything, is to be like a super early adopter and shove that down brands' throat, like you have to be on here. Actually, John and I had some early conversations about fulfillment on TikTok when it came out. You guys had some pain points around it.
Yeah, major pain points.
So, but then it's more talking to the community, actually, you know, with Creators Combine, with our groups that we're in, and listening to people talk about it. I know he hates the word, but I'm big on having separate sales channels, being, you know, omni-channel, and making sure you don't have a single point of failure as a business, because you can never know what's going to happen. The other thing is being not a super early adopter, but being an early adopter, whether it's TikTok when it came out, Pinterest, Meta, so on and so forth, is capitalizing on lower cost of acquisition, because when there's usually a new product or a new platform, it is typically cheaper to advertise on it. I am all for it. I think there's a strategy. And one of the things I talk to a lot of brands about when it comes to Amazon, and I think now this applies the same to TikTok, is don't serve it as your regular customer base. There's ways Amazon doesn't enable brands to have access to emails and things like that, but maybe move clearance products, maybe have Amazon only products. Same thing with TikTok Shop. So I think it's a way to broaden or widen your target audience and figure out how you get people in. And with TikTok Shop, with the AOVs being smaller, it reminds me the Temus, the TikToks of the Groupon model that we had, where now we're going in this economy where consumers are being more conscious about their spending. So it's like, how do you get in front of those? Now, there's going to be loyals and people that are always going to purchase and spend a little bit more money. But I think as we go deeper into conscious spending consumer, we have to find these channels, how to move extra inventory, how to potentially attract them through different acquisition channels. Because out of curiosity, actually, for you, currently on those smaller AOVs, what is your acquisition cost? Is it a lot cheaper than on Meta on TikTok?
Well, that is our acquisition. I mean, this isn't advertising. This is organic.
So there you go. Yeah. So you guys are not even advertising on TikTok.
Not at scale.
Okay.
99% of our revenue on TikTok Shop is organic.
Wow.
I guess acquisition cost would probably be the cost of goods of the item that we sent to the creator to make the content, because the algorithm's a little funky.
Them, right?
And the commission.
But it's fractional.
Well, I mean, the commission, we pay 20% to a lot of creators. So, I mean, that's
like your Meta
acquisition
cost, basically.
But it's controlled.
Yeah.
So is it potentially that they've opened up in a social affiliate channel? Is that the way you're looking at it almost?
I think what they did.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost better than Meta to a degree, because you're not spending on these influencers and hoping you're going to get results, and it's more trackable.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be very clear. They've made some changes to the algorithm to fit a narrative, right? I can make content that is literally 100%, everybody would agree this is the best content for an item. And then I can have a horrible piece of content that literally looks like, I don't even know, like it's just not good. Edited poorly, not even good like UGC feeling, just bad content, but the creator is posting it as an affiliate, and the algorithm is going to treat that as if it's gold compared to my content that I know checks every box of normal TikTok good content. So the algorithm's pushing that narrative and pushing that affiliate traffic, affiliate sales, affiliate marketplace. It's just not very straightforward.
But that makes sense for them to do that from a business standpoint.
Yeah, 100%. They're monetizing their platform.
Yeah, and they're going to build on it as more people get on it.
Right.
The two biggest pain points, and I've talked about this before a little bit with Jordan actually, is everyone that I know that has purchased on TikTok, they talk about the product they purchased, but they have no idea who the product's from.
So does the brand even matter?
So like, for instance, the Zappers. I have no idea who makes those.
Dude, I don't even think
zero idea.
The box that it came in, it was like a brown paper bag box. There was no logoing or anything on that thing.
Yeah, but even if it comes in a branded box, like you're buying the product as an impulse purchase, the brand has zero to do with any purchase
our
decision.
products that move in volume follow that rule.
Right.
No one knows they got the GTFO wrist strap from Battle Box.
Correct.
They just got a wrist strap.
So now there's pain point number one. zero brand exposure. It's product exposure, not brand exposure. Now you have everyone that comes on almostpride.com and purchases, I collect all their information. So now it is, okay, so not only am I not spreading my brand out there, but now I'm not even able to capture those customers and retarget them. I'm able to try to, like what John's doing, but it's nowhere near what they're doing on the website. So now it's like, okay, well, now I have to pay 20% to affiliates. Now I have to give away product to influencers for what? All they're buying is a product. They're not buying BattleBox. They're not buying Almost Pride, right? So now it becomes harder too, because now most likely that customer is, like you said, is making a one-time purchase decision, and it's not something that they're going to look for again. So you're battling no brand awareness being spread because it's a product impulse-driven purchase decision, and you can't capture that customer. So it's like, what are you doing? That's why I'm yelling at Joy. What are you doing?
Well, that's why it has to be profitable for us, and it can't just be a break-even channel that we're really losing money on.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to TikTok directly at one point because they came to me at the company at the SaaS side of things, and they were like, well, how can we work together? I said, are you going to ever expose your customer information to the brand? They're like, no, like it's a closed ecosystem. Like that's the goal. And I was like, just like Amazon is technically.
Yeah.
And they're like, we own the customer and the traffic, and we're allowing people to buy. And I said, well, what we do is we empower loyalty through obviously repeat purchase customers and identification, and it would never work. And what that told me was that they are on that model. The model that they're trying to work on here is to own the customer themselves and have the traffic and availability, and it's just giving you an advertising channel to
But here's the thing though, like this model for a lot of opportunists works really well, because like let's say even if they release a product, they sell a ton of it, and this has happened before on different platforms, bad reviews, whatever, there is no negative brand impact. That's why these products are typically so cheap. So, hey, this is very seasonal or very important, or there's a buzz around it. Let's produce as many as possible, capitalize on the opportunity in the market. And next quarter we'll come up with something different. And this has happened on eBay before, on Amazon.
It's a short side.
It's like a modern day dropshipping. Remember when dropshipping was so bad back in like the mid 2010s?
Yeah, 10 years ago,
It'd be the biggest business model. This is modern day dropshipping happening through affiliate channel.
And my problem is for a consumer is, and I have never bought it, so I don't know about the experience, there's no protection really in place. I know you mentioned for shipping and everything like that, but if the product is faulty.
They did great, dude. So
It's really Amazon style.
Yeah, dude.
The customer is always right.
Yeah. I had a product that I bought. I fell for it. You guys ever seen the screens they sell for the phones? That
I saw one.
So I always see those ads, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get one. So I got one, and then it cracked.
On TikTok?
It cracked.
Okay.
Right? And so I hit up the thing on the thing, and I was like, report a problem. And I was like, the product broke on me already, right? Like I literally put it on and it broke. They refunded me instantly, and they told me to keep the product.
It's the Amazon model where Amazon's making that decision. TikTok is making that decision, and the vendor just has to deal with.
Yeah, you got to eat it.
It's the price to pay.
So they've got that on lock them there. Like,
it's really
they're
good.
actually really good about that, and they thought about that.
It's frustrating because it's very Amazon-like.
As a vendor, you're probably frustrated.
Like a customer is using the product wrong. It doesn't matter. I've already lost the product and the money.
And do you guys know most of these products, are they being shipped from overseas, or are they by...
So if you would have asked me a couple of months ago, I'd have said they're 100% stateside, because TikTok Shop is as US, not even available in Canada. I would say it is stateside because of those rules. Now with the modern day infrastructure that Temu has put in place, I wouldn't be shocked if some stuff is coming.
It's definitely coming from overseas, at least some of the things I've received.
Because they can get it to you now in 4 days.
Yeah, it's so fast though, you don't even notice.
No.
And it has a
the
USP.
packaging is just a little bit different than our USA packaging.
The bags are a little bit different.
Cheaper, a little bit
a little bit, but it's got a USPS label.
Yeah,
came from New Jersey.
A little bit different and unique every time.
Because now, this question, I don't know if TikTok covers this. Let's say it's a product and God forbid it creates an injury or it's unsafe, like baby cribs, like we hear about recalls and everything. Are we able to hold these brands responsible, or because they're coming from another country, I don't know. TikTok is also very stringent. Like when you look at policies and rules in place, TikTok's rules on this kind of stuff is the most extreme out of all the other social platforms. In what sense?
Like what you're allowed to sell, what you're not allowed to sell. It's
even shipping fulfillment wise, it's almost Amazon regulations in regards to,
they're strict.
Yeah.
So I think that products that might have a high risk of liability are probably just not even allowed to be on the platform.
Okay.
Yeah, like a baby knife.
So prime example. So knives are not Baby knives.
He said a baby knife. I'm not sure if that means
Yeah, I've
knife
never-
for babies
Yeah,
or a
or
small
like that
knife.
little
Yeah, like
tiny
a real
one.
knife for a baby. Yeah, probably not allowed is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
probably
in
dangerous.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in life.
Yeah, just in life.
So knives, for example, they're a great example, are not allowed on TikTok Shop. We're actually the hopefully, knock on wood, this week we're doing an alpha with TikTok Shop to be the first vendor to offer knives, but it's specific types of knives. They have very practical use outside, outdoors.
You know what's funny? You say this. There is this thing that I'm getting advertised under now. It's basically, you know, those things when police like they're like metal things and they slim it out.
Oh, yeah.
What do they call
Yeah,
them?
Yeah.
the batons.
Batons.
Batons, right?
Yeah.
They're calling them walking sticks and they're selling them as walking. You can walk on it. And if a dog attacks you, you can beat it, right? Like that's the way they're
Yeah,
positioning the
that's
sale.
not gonna last. That'll get.
But I keep getting the ad and I'm kind of sold on it lately and I kind of
Oh, those batons are pretty cool
I know, and I'm like, I could beat somebody
because they
off
get
with
like
this.
so little.
Yeah. But they call it a walking stick.
Yeah.
So like, there's an example of someone trying to skirt the line where you're going to the right channels to make sure that you're doing it in the right way, in the proper way.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess by the time we launch this pod and episode, you will probably have an idea of how far you've gotten.
Yeah, hopefully.
What were you about to say? You're jumping in.
Oh no, my other like big take was I know Amir said that YouTube already started betaing. Is betaing a word?
I think so.
Probably not with Shopify, but I'm all in on YouTube. I think in my opinion, it'll do more revenue than all other social platforms combined for a multitude of reasons. Number one, brands are going to be empowered to hit up YouTube for one, brand awareness. Like for instance, where John found Brandon and how all these new customers found BattleBox. YouTube is an exclusive content consumption place where you want to learn and follow people and brands. And it's going to be a lot easier sell point with products that are more premium and at a higher cost on YouTube. And in return, it's going to generate a lot more revenue and it's going to be a lot more beneficial for brands to go all in on YouTube and really sort of like dish away from TikTok, right? TikTok's a new platform, right? Number one, we don't know what's going to go on with the whole China. I mean, we don't really know.
As of right now, they're going to be not on the. They're going to be out of the.
Listen to this difference already, though. YouTube gets 72 billion views a month. You know what TikTok gets?
What?
1.04 billion.
Wow.
It's such a stark difference.
And YouTube's been around for decades.
So
I mean, YouTube, I'm all in on. I think it's going to absolutely dominate.
So we're already in the shopping program. They're doing it a lot different. So they're not following the traditional marketplace like TikTok is, like eBay, like Amazon, where you don't have the customer information. On YouTube shopping, the consumer actually checks out on your website.
Yes.
They're connected to your website, kind of like Meta is doing it with
Well, the Google Shopping
IG ads.
is the same concept.
Shopify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Google Shopping when you just go to the website and you purchase. My thing too, like when we let off with this is this what the consumer wants? And kind of to go back to that, I am, as you guys know, I have certain feelings about economic policies, political policies, and everything like that. I have, yeah, a little bit.
Sustainability?
My fear is, so currently we have on a macroeconomic scale a $380 billion deficit between U.S. and China trade. And that is predominant.
Big number.
It's a huge number. And it fluctuates, but it's over the last 20 years has been going up. We don't produce as much as we used to produce in America, and we have factories and everything like that. In China, because of such great American and global demand, you have tooling experts more than you can imagine. We're talking about engineers, tooling, and all that. You can't find them in America anymore.
No.
Well, when you pay $20 at McDonald's for like a starting salary or starting hourly wage, I mean, what are you going to find to do this stuff?
That must be.
I mean, I'm going to go flip
California.
burgers for $20 or go hardworking and like manufacture shit. Like, you know what I mean? And what's the product going to cost?
Well,
That's kind of the problem we have.
yeah, we've created
We've
this
created our own
problem.
monster.
It did, but it's a double-edged sword too. And then as you're going to McDonald's in the 1970s, Detroit used to be the epicenter of automotive.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then they moved all the factories to Mexico. And then everybody was...
But why? Because the wages went up too high and people were unionizing and they couldn't afford the wages and to give a consumer a fair price. That's why they went overseas.
They went overseas, but then what happened that nobody talks about? Then they started to question, well, why are we losing all of our sales to Japanese and Korean manufacturers?
Because we opened the consumer mindset, right?
Well, not just that, because the people that started to lose these jobs, American factories, we're not just talking about people that assemble it. We're talking about people that are cutting screws, creating door handles, engine parts, and everything like that. Well, you had a great level of unemployment and skill set of workers that could not find jobs in similar industries. You just shrunk tremendously. And we did that across every single industry. So because we started to outsource and we became a service economy. Now, one of the reasons I'm getting here, and that's fine, and we can live with it. We transitioned to a service.
I think it's a mistake we made. I think things are going to get bad because of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree that. But we had the service economy to still allow us to be a leading economy in the world. Now what's happening, and I'm going to use eCom as a service. I know we are selling goods, but we're providing a service for pet food, for survival. And I'm in that mix too, because it's going to trickle down to us as well. If we allow a bridge to go between American consumer and a foreign seller, there's going to be a devastating impact to this country that people are overlooking. So the consumer right now may be attracted to the Groupon model. I got to save a few bucks and I don't care if something breaks 2-3 days and we after laugh about it. But that is a wallet share and a dollar that we're exporting to another country, whether it is China or whether it's Europe or whether it's Mexico, that is not coming back equally to our economy.
Great transition. Let's talk about Temu, because
Yes.
they're doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting to.
Bridging
So-
the gap of the direct seller, basically from China or wherever they're coming from, and selling to the US right now.
Yeah.
And Brian over here, who's the model here today, he's got his Temu shirt from Sandlon shirt. You got your watch on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got the Temu watch. The dials on the side fell off, but the watch still
Shit,
worked.
they really did.
Yeah, no, they did.
It really did, and he still wore it. I love
These
it.
2 dials here.
All right. Well, they fell off, but you bought
Dude,
seven of them for $7. So
this
it's okay.
was literally, I think, because I want a spin. I want a bonus spin. I think this is like $7 or $8 bucks.
Okay, quick question since we're going to Temu. What is average profit on each Temu order?
Do you know the answer?
I do know the answer.
Oh,
but
you know the answer. Okay.
I know the answer.
I would say, okay, knowing that it's overseas and knowing their margins are never that big over there, I can't see more than a 10-20% margin on these things.
Okay, you?
I'll just copy Jimmy's answer.
I'm gonna say 7%.
7%. According to Wired, in the investigation they did and looked into it, Temu last year lost $30 on every single order placed on their platform.
Because they were incentivizing to get user access.
And they
right?
still are.
Okay.
And
what is the
TikTok was subsidizing for the first year.
No, of course. It's user adoption. It happens and it's normal. My big thing is we have this, one of the reasons I brought it up, my fear is if we have this huge swing to this new model.
Which is what they're doing. They're playing the long game. They're losing money today because of what they know they're going to do.
Yeah.
You look at, I don't want to call it tchotchke, people selling products, not brands, like the people that are selling on TikTok Shop. The old model used to be, when you were trying to scale, you would purchase from China, you'd get it over, you'd mark it up, and that's how you would make your money. And then after that, there was drop shipping where they weren't even physically holding the item and you'd wait 3 weeks and you knew it was coming from China. And there was that experience. And now Temu's built this infrastructure in place where the US consumer can order from Temu, get it from China to their door in 4 days. They're eliminating the middleman, the American.
Yeah, but it's not just a middleman from an e-commerce shop. We're talking about fulfillment center, dropship. Like
They're eliminating the need for any American touching.
Yeah.
They're just taking our money.
I got some stats that are going to challenge your perspective here, all right?
Okay.
Now, I know this is from ChinaTalk.nl. I have no idea how reliable this source is.
Okay.
But hold on. I have a couple other ones that are giving me similar numbers back, so I don't think it is. Some more reliable ones that are a little bit more. I checked 3-4. I'm not just bringing it up on one of them. But basically, their gross margins as a seller, 60%. Sellers, 60%. That's what they're making. Factories making 60%, because if it's only 17 cents to produce the product and they sell it on Temu for $2.99, they take their fees and they take their stuff. They're still making money, man. 60% gross margins. Last time I checked, it's a healthy business,
It's healthy.
right?
For them.
For the business. That's what matters though, right? Look, you got to look at Temu as the acquirer of customers.
No, I know.
What I mean?
Yeah.
But the Temu, though, you have to also understand, is owned by TDD, which is a $600 billion company.
Yep.
See, they're not a startup.
Correct. That's why they're able
Yeah,
to.
they can afford
That's
to
why
do
they're
this.
able to buy
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
Super Bowl ads.
They lose $30, but their vendors are making money. So what does that make the vendors do? They keep producing.
No, but my point is, you're making actually my point for me. John, Brian?
Yep.
That's Brian.
I was going to say Jimmy. I was about to say Jimmy. Can you guys afford to lose $30 per customer?
No.
No.
I lose way more than that.
What?
I'm not asking you. That's why I stopped myself. But that's my point here. Is like, I know the economy is not all that great, but these shifts could be huge.
I mean, this is going to be I don't think anybody's disagreeing.
Yeah,
This has
that's
the
my
potential
point.
to be a tear of the Achilles.
Well, okay,
for
let's
us.
jump right into it then. Amazon China's coming.
Yeah.
Right? Amazon has announced that they are doing direct from China products. Will take 4-day shipping instead of 2-day. That's what they've announced, 4-day shipping.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're going to be producing a lower line that you can buy direct from the factory from, and it's going to be available on Amazon. How is that going to change the whole landscape of Amazon?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise you, right? They recognize
Well, they're getting beat
Temu,
up, it tells
yeah.
you, right? That means that Temu is beating them
grabbing,
up.
grabbing
Yeah.
a piece of it.
And the average consumer now, Gen Z and millennials especially, and listen, my dad's a very smart man, but the boomers and then, my grandfather's era, they weren't the brightest bulbs in the box when it came to consumerism and products,
Your dad
right?
listen to this?
Not really. Sometimes he'll watch the first few minutes and then get bored. He's an insurance guy. He is actually a side note. He has probably, now that I'm thinking about it, the most unrewarding and boring job out there. He's an internal auditor for an insurance company.
Okay.
So maybe don't let him get a hold of our books. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, you guys missed it this morning when you guys went to meet up with the crew.
Yeah.
And it was just Amir and I at breakfast. Check comes.
He wanted to pay for it.
Yeah.
Did he pay for it?
No.
Oh,
This guy hates
Amir, stop doing
expensing
that.
business expenses.
No,
He did it again.
No, my
You know,
card
guys,
is
I
not
have a new business
activated.
plan. We don't need sponsors. We've got a mayor.
My card is not activated. I have to activate my card. I've been lazy about it.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop doing that. So what I think is we're getting smarter too, where I think Temu is really opening up people's eyes, where it's that's the same product that I used to pay 2 to 3x for because it had a logo on it.
Correct.
And our parents in that generation,
I disagree with that.
not every product,
Not every.
but a lot of products, because the amount, and we can look this up actually, the amount of people that actually manufacture their own products in the US that sell US branded products is so small. All they're doing is having it manufactured in the same facility.
No, it's the same facility, but here's the thing, and maybe you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. There is a level of scrutiny that American brands go through a QA process, make sure the quality is there and all of that. And American brands within our American jurisdiction can be held responsible if something goes wrong with these
In
products.
fact, only 53% of total U.S. brands manufacture their own product. Doesn't mean if it's U.S. or overseas, but they
Yeah.
only own it. So that means 47% of brands are just buying products overseas.
And they're just reselling them?
They're reselling them, correct.
Okay.
Which is wild.
Yeah, which is wild. But you bring up a good point. Your Nikes of the world, yes, they have that.
Sweatshop.
In terms of, but in terms of product quality, we're talking about product quality, not in terms of liability and stuff.
Yeah.
Product quality, there's only so many big brands out there that have a true oversight in regards to their manufacturing in China.
That's correct.
The Nikes of the world.
Yeah.
Your Almost Prides of the world. Almost Pride's a bad example because it's food. This hat company, okay, 10 years ago, this hat was purchased. It's the same exact hat, same exact quality, but now it has a logo on it. That company that was a $2 million company, then it didn't have any oversight in China. They had no idea how their product was being made, but they were selling the same hat at $35.99. Now I can get the same thing for $9 on Temu. The oversight in product quality only happens with your top 1% of companies. Your average small, medium-sized business has zero product quality oversight.
I disagree with that.
A small little $1 million business, can't tell
100%.
China anything.
I've worked with startups that they've gone to China, work on tooling with people. I've worked with people that received prototypes of their products, and then they told us we can't launch because this is not to the level of
But was
standard.
this recently or was this years ago?
No, this is in the last 5 years, I would say.
I mean, we do some stuff off, in overseas, and we have a sampling and quality control and
Yeah.
But for the most part,
Yeah.
your average
And-
product is
Is
it's the
not.
same
You're
thing.
right.
And I'm not
It's the
saying-
same product.
And I'm not saying that some Chinese companies don't have the same. I think it's 50-50. There's companies here don't care. There's companies that don't care.
yeah,
There's
of
companies
course.
that care on both sides. My thing is, maybe I'm not smart enough, but I cannot foresee if this impact does happen, which I see coming.
Yeah.
What is going to replace
Yeah,
all of
no,
this?
Agreed.
I have
Agreed.
I'm going to flip this hot take back on you a little
Okay.
bit, okay?
Hey, how's it going? How can I help? I have the platform to handle any problem you dealt. Thank you for that. Yeah, but where is my belt? It was order 113 if I remembered it well. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what I can do. It looks like end of day today is when your package is due. Thank you so much. Wow, you did that so fast. Wait, aren't you the only one you guys have on staff? Yeah, I am, but this helps in enormous ways. We appreciate your business. Have a gorgeous day.
Do you believe when you're hiring people, and I already know this answer, that you can find as good or equivalent people overseas today?
Yeah.
Then why couldn't they make the same products as we could?
No, I'm not saying that they can't. I just said that. I just admitted. I said it's 50-50. I've worked with, when I was younger, I was maybe 22. I produced like keychains and all of that. And I was basically sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And I worked with this guy, he went by Eric. He was a Chinese gentleman. I had a really good relationship with him. And I actually did what everyone's doing now. Back then, I had custom boxes made and everything. They would ship them, put them in China. Before he shipped them out, he would take videos, pictures of all the product. I'd give him a thumbs up and I would ship directly to the consumer. And 100% agree with it.
Yeah.
That there's time. I have a team in India.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between me and maybe an all-American shop, which I give them all the credit to, is there's a ton of brands that are between, I don't know, X million. They can't afford to pay American wages and the American cost. They can't afford to pay $250 an hour.
Yeah.
It's just a reality. So a company like me that does it for half fills that void for those smaller companies. And it goes both ways. Same with manufacturing.
Yeah. And I would also say over the last 10 years, especially like when we had my clothing store, right? We did cut and sew in America. Like we were so into quality. We wanted to source our own organic fabric from LA, our own buttons, our own labels. And then we'd get in cut and sew either in LA, Texas, or in Vegas. We'd get them like actually done. And we would do that. And I remember us exploring China at one point because we're like, man, our cost of goods here in US was like $9.50 for a shirt. But if we went to China, it'd be like $2.20.
Okay.
But my partner was so into quality of the way the seams were on the shirt. We never made that hump and made the move over. But I would say, as I've been watching over the last 10 years, as we've watched the progress, dude, quality of products have just gotten better. Like the quality of products coming from overseas continue to get better.
100%.
Which is telling me that ultimately it won't be long before they're caught up. And as John mentioned, we'd be in trouble.
Do you guys think there should be a premium foreign companies that are not creating and investing into the American economy? There should be a high tax that they need to pay in order to access the American consumer.
That's our defensive move. We put ourselves into this.
Then we put ourselves into an inflation spiral, right? So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we saw that with the tariffs that were being put on stuff coming in from China.
I mean, if you look at the stuff that we ship out and the tariffs that we get slammed on the U.S. side, it's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
It only works one way. I mean, this goes not to go into politics, but this goes all the way back to the Clinton era when he opened this thing up, and it's never been reversed back. And I don't know if we can, because it would crumble our system. Could you imagine buying that water for double the price because now the plastic costs way more money because they had to manufacture here and pay someone $22 an hour to manufacture it? Imagine what that water bottle would cost.
You know what the weird part is? Before this inflation happened over the last handful of years, we're saying the same thing about eggs.
Yeah.
Guess what? Now we're paying it for them.
Yeah.
We're saying the same thing about t-shirts. Now we're paying for them.
Crazy.
A burger at McDonald's 5 years ago used to be $4.99. You get a whole meal.
$2.99 Big Mac meal, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how they launched.
Now you can buy fries for $5.
They don't even have a value menu anymore.
No, they're all like $1.89 now.
I mean,
it's not a value.
we've gone through this, and it's not the first time we've gone through it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the reset and the increase of pricing, typically there needs to also be an increase in wages.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Well, guys, we're at the top of the hour here. I think we got into a really good conversation about this. I think I learned some stuff, some thought processes there. It's definitely given me a lot to think about, and I think it's going to be really interesting to watch as we continue to watch over the next year or two as TikTok Shop and Temu and Alibaba and all these places start to come up. I'm really excited about Amazon China. Once it does launch, we'll definitely do a pod on that because we just need to go deep dive in and figure out what's going on in there. With that, guys, that was episode 16. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend or tell us what you think about our episode. We always love that feedback. You can follow us on social at X, TikTok, IG, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere you can type in ASOM, ASOM. You can find us and you can take a listen to us. But we are a video first podcast. We fly location to location. We're in not Hartford. I don't know where we are. Somewhere in Connecticut.
Foxwoods. Thank you.
In the middle of
Foxwoods Resort
stuff. We thank Foxwoods for the room here. But we're a dynamic pod. You can find us on YouTube. You can listen to it. If you want to see examples, visuals when we talk about it, B-roll, different things, check us up on YouTube. Because if you're just listening listening, you might not be able to see all of these things. Special thanks to our sponsors, Gorgeous and Recharge, for sponsoring this pod as well. The next episode, guys, we're going to get spicy because I think this is a really big topic right now. We're going to talk about remote, hybrid versus in office and the great debate around that, because that is a hot topic right now with all the layoffs and different things. And we all have different answers for this in scenarios, because in office, I'm remote, but turning hybrid. You're hybrid, you're remote in the US, but in office in India, right? Or
in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, in Europe. So like we have a lot of perspective around this. And I know that COVID has changed a lot of things that have occurred, but I think there's going to be a lot and be really relevant, because I want to share the perspective of not only the business owner, but on the other side of like how you think about it, how you feel about it, because I think that it's going to give people an understanding of what's actually happening in this market right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be spicy too, because I'm not thrilled right now. My wife, I think I told you guys before, our next door neighbor had their trees cut down and the tree guy like hit our mailbox, and our mailbox is all fucked up. So she sent me all those screenshots from Ring. So now she's telling me that I have to text my two neighbors and tell them.
Is he a remote worker? Or?
Yeah. What is
like what is this?
Just sharing his story?
No, the tree service was remote. They didn't do it from their office.
The tree service was on site. The two neighbors that I'm not fond of, they're both remote.
They were.
Okay. But no, it just really.
So you'd like to send them to work so they can stop bothering you?
Correct. Yeah, we need to send everyone back to the office, especially my neighbors.
With that, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.
Welcome to the ASOM Pod, where we talked a lot. eCom was the path that we walked a lot. But now the question is, will you subscribe or not?